Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at Parade Alice at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I do have another video that covers Parade Alice at the lower skill levels at skill level 1, 2, and 3. And in that video, I do cover in-depth analysis of Parade Alice on some of the strategies that I use and also some tips and tricks. And if you're interested in looking at her stats and also some tips and tricks that I did use for Parade Alice at skill level 1, 2, and 3, then check out the video in the description below or in the top right hand corner. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about strategy here, so you can always just stick around to learn a little bit more about these higher skill levels. But if you are specifically looking for skill level 4, 5, and 6, then you found the right place. So when it comes to Parade Alice at skill level 4, 5, and 6, she does get a lot better. But in terms of the strategy that you would use, it's relatively the same between all 6 of the skill levels. So whether you have her at skill level 1 or at skill level 6, the strategy is the same. So there's 2 ways of using Parade Alice. The most simple way of using Parade Alice is that before you activate the ability, make sure that the center area where she's going to fall have a lot of tsums packed into that one area. At skill level 6, the rows or the vertical line, there's going to be about 4 to 5 of them. So you want to make sure that that center area has a lot of tsums before you activate the ability. And that goes the same for skill level 4. So skill level 4, the thickness of the line is going to be a little bit more shorter or skinnier compared to skill level 6. But regardless, you still want to make sure that center area has a lot of tsums. Now, the second strategy that you could use is the one I like to use, which is before you activate her ability, pop a magic bubble and then activate her ability. You do need to plan a little bit to make sure you have a magic bubble handy. So that's another thing that you want to keep in mind, is you want to have a magic bubble on the screen at all times. You don't want to have too many, especially in the center area, because that will take up a lot of space. If you strategically can move the bubble to the sides where the blast is not going to impact it, that is perfect. Because what you want to do is you want to pop that magic bubble to trigger all the tsums to fall down quicker. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, definitely watch the video that covers skill level 1, 2, and 3. I do elaborate on why you want to do that, because it does trigger the tsums to fall a lot quicker. They do start falling from these points and also the coin counter. So let's do a side-by-side comparison of all 3 of these abilities activated at the same time. So that way I could share with you a little bit more of my strategy when it comes to using her ability. So we have Parade Alice that will pop out, and then she's going to fall from the very top to the very bottom. So if you take a look at the game demonstration for skill level 6, you'll see that there is a huge gap there. I didn't wait for the tsums to settle, but what I did do was I did pop a magic bubble right before that. So if you rewind maybe like 20-30 seconds, you'll see that I popped the magic bubble first and then activated the ability. And by doing that, you're going to trigger a bunch of tsums that are in that little blank area to start falling from the top of the screen. So they don't show it here, but the tsums already started falling from where the coin counter and the score counter is. That's where the tsums all originate from, and they start funneling from very small tsum to a very big tsum there. So as I resume the gameplay here, what you'll see is that the tsums will start to burst, but you'll notice that there is a shimmer that will come up at the very top. So I'm going to reference skill level 6 and skill level 4 here, and even some of it at skill level 5. You'll see that where the coin counter and also the score counter, there's a bunch of tsums there and they're reflecting, they're starting to count. That's because Parade Alice is a vertical line clear tsum. So what that means is it's going to clear everything in the center area. And because there are tsums there where the coin counter and the score counter is, those also goes into the chain. And if you take a look at skill level 6 and skill level 4, the chain is pretty much the same. You see how I got 34 there for skill level 6, and skill level 4 I got 33. And I think for skill level 3 in my last game demonstration I got 31. So that just goes to show you that it doesn't necessarily matter too much what skill level you have her at. You could get a really long chain by doing this strategy. What does change is that the amount of chains that you're going to get every single time. So if you're able to pull this strategy off every single time, you could get a really high score even at skill level 1, or not a high score, but a higher chain and also a higher coin earnings. You will need to strategize this a little bit better to maximize the coin earning depending on what skill level you have her at. But in theory, the higher the skill level, it is better. But the more times you could do this bubble trick, the more coins you're going to earn. I'm also going to skip forward here to the end of these gameplays and show you what I earned for coins. So for skill level 4, I got 2,098. And for skill level 5, I did mess up here for this gameplay, but I left it in here anyways because I just want to keep it authentic to show you what I earned. I only got 1,587. So I don't necessarily think that this is an accurate number. I think that I should get in the middle of 2,000s, and that's more accurate. And for skill level 6, I got 3,555, and that's more like it in terms of coin earnings. I think in the high 3,000 and maybe even 4,000s, it's about right for Parade Alice. Especially if you practice a little bit more, I definitely do think that you could get a high coin earnings, also a higher score. So at skill level 6, it's a significant increase in terms of score. I got 7 million points, so it is pretty decent for points, especially if you could get Parade Alice to a higher level. I definitely do think that you could get her to a high score. And I also want to show you my second gameplay, so that way we could get a better idea of what the ranges are. Since I did mess up earlier for skill level 5, this will really help us determine what the ranges are for skill level 5. So for skill level 4, my second gameplay, I got 2,283 coins. For skill level 5, I got 2,542, and that's probably more accurate than the 1,587. So you definitely should target somewhere in the mid 2,000s. And then for skill level 6, I got 3,697 coins. And in terms of score, I got between 5 million to 7 million. And for a level 5 to level 7 Tsum, I think that's pretty decent for score. So if you encounter any missions that require you to get a high score, Parade Alice is not a bad option for you, especially if you are trying to get through a mission for this month, because you will get that score bonus or character bonus to get you through the missions. But I don't necessarily think that you need to level her up to skill level 6, because you can still do great things with her at skill level 1. So here's the breakdown between level 4, 5, and 6 on both my attempts, my first attempt and my second attempt. And you can see here on my second attempt, they are better in terms of the coin earnings. But for score, I did end up getting a better matchup for skill level 6, so that's why I was able to get 7 million points. But honestly, that is still like a million off, but that's definitely just a variable of depending on your supporting Tsum. So overall, I think Parade Alice is a fun Tsum, but it's definitely not a Tsum that you must have. I think it's a fun Tsum to have if you have the coins to spare, but if you don't, I definitely don't think that you should be investing your coins in trying to get Parade Alice. So that's pretty much it for Parade Alice at skill level 4, 5, and 6. If you haven't checked out the lower skill levels, definitely check out the link in the description below and check her out at the lower skill levels. And if you have any questions, definitely leave it in the comments below as well. And if you'd like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.